when you're backstage, you talked about like you're scared and you have kind of fear come over you. How do you get through that, man? When's that switch flip for you?
It's actually after that first hit,
Okay.
like because in my heart of hearts, I'm a nice guy. I don't like fighting, as ironic as it sounds.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I try and nullify the fight. Like, hey, like if in a street altercation, I'm always trying to diffuse situations. So it's one of those things like Jekyll and Hyde, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want, get hit. And then it's just like, all right. Then like the green guy starts coming out and then it's like, all right, it's go time. And then afterwards, it's like, man, I can't believe I did that, and fighting is a crazy thing, man.
I believe action is the foundation of success. With strategic action, your vision can become a thriving reality. However, in today's modern age, you will need world-class digital infrastructure designed around the goal of your business. At Vision Thrive, we specialize in creating websites, e-commerce sites, and mobile apps for your business. When you work with us, we have a no questions asked refund policy, so you're guaranteed to like what you see. If you're interested, please visit visionthrive.com. That's VISIONTHRIVE.com. Look, this is perfect for every entrepreneur and MMA fighter out there. Again, take a look at visionthrive.com. Hector, you're a professional MMA fighter, signed with Top Shelf Sports. You're part of the National Guard. Thank you for your service, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course.
I like to go back with my shows, man. Like, where did you grow up? What was childhood like for you?
So I grew up in California. I was born in Orange County, Anaheim, California, but moved around a lot all throughout Southern California. Childhood was a lot of bullying, man, a lot of crazy stuff going on. And I guess that kind of built that fighter in me, because I know what it's like to be on like that receiving end and, having that like victim mentality. So I decided to do something about it. Picked up boxing at 15, wrestling at 15, and then the rest is kind of history,
Wow. And you also skateboard, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That was like my first passion. I wanted to go pro with skateboarding, but I found wrestling and then fell in love with it. And I was like, how do I get better with this? And just continue to, chase that dream. And here we are now.
Come on, man. When did you start skateboarding?
I started skateboarding, I would say, middle school.
Okay.
I used to actually rollerblade, and all my friends were skateboarders, and I would be the rollerblader, like the odd man out, and get people crack jokes on me. And I'm like, hey, I got to learn to skateboard and stuff. And then I kind of excelled at that. Like I had that competitive mindset, like I got to beat these guys at skateboarding.
Yeah.
So, and I chalk up a lot of my tenacity to skateboarding. I used to stay like 8 hours just trying to ollie. I would literally just put my board in the cracks and like, I need to get this ollie down, So skateboarding taught me a lot of like, dust yourself off and try again, So it was a grind in its own sense.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I rode a toy machine, man, when I was back in school, dude. So
yeah. See, I had I think my first board was like a Kmart board, like with the plastic trucks. And then I think after watching Baker 3, I was like, man, I'm a Baker everything. So
that's awesome, man. Dude, I mean, you mentioned on your Instagram Psalm 27, which is such a great passage there. I'm a believer, a man of God as well. Why is that scripture so important for you?
I would have to say I even have it tattooed on my chest. It was just like a foundational scripture for me, especially in terms of I grew up in fear, like I was afraid of a lot of things, even in fighting. Like I had the experience and my coaches early on wanted me to compete, but I was terrified, man. And I'd be lying to tell you I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
And I guess going in spite of it, that's where God really opened that door for me and was like, you can feel what you feel, but do it anyway, like how he would talk to, how Gideon was, he said, be strong and courageous, and, and I just, I gravitate towards that. Like, maybe Gideon was feeling a type of way about going into battle, but he did it anyway, and that's who I am, like, I'll be real. I don't care what anyone says. I'll be as transparent as possible. No one is more scared than me of the fight. I won't even lie to you, but something switches, and I think it's kind of like something overcomes me, and I just go, and then I perform, and it's almost like I'm detached, and I'm just like on autopilot. The training takes over. It's crazy. It's a surreal experience.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. You know, I'm like I said, I'm a believer as well. I have a lot of friends that are believers, and one of my best friends, he was actually a pastor, but he was also a professional boxer. So he was the punching pastor, man. And you know,
Yeah.
these guys who are sometimes like they're Christians, are like, well, you can't be a Christian and a fighter at the same time. Do you ever have people saying that to you?
It's actually I've had the opposite. It's
Okay,
people actually kind of like a promoting because as a Christian, you're essentially a fighter in the spirit,
totally.
and so it's just it kind of I know that in this season, this is where God has me. But I know long term, like fighting is going to play a big factor. And like I have an in with people that, like I have a different missionary field than others. I can talk to people and have that experience, like, hey, I know what it's like to really fight,
Yep.
but how can we transcend this into the spirit? How does this correlate with what you got going on? How can I help you get through this, and coach you through this, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, it's so good, dude. I speak on like, our past doesn't define our future because I came from that crazy broken home, man. And
Yeah.
and I didn't give my life to Christ till I was 24 years old. I, spent 10 years of just destruction, man, and craziness, man. So I love that you're in there, being able to share your faith, man. It's so good. You're fighting Cam Jordan June 26th for Sparta Sports Entertainment. It looks like you guys have actually been scheduled to fight a few times. Why were the previous fights canceled?
The amateur bouts, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Um, this last fight I was supposed to that was scheduled actually fractured my collarbone in sparring.
Gosh.
Yeah, so I had to take a little break, but we're right back to it, and I healed up relatively quick. I prayed over myself. It was just nonstop, like that supernatural healing, and I believe that and even when I got checked out by the X-rays, it was like after like 3 weeks, I went and got checked out. I was like, dang, I'm moving again. And I went and got checked out. And like the doctor was like, man, like you healed up quick. Like I haven't seen, like usually it takes like maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Like he's like, that's crazy. And I was like, that's just God, man. Like I can't even say nothing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now the majority of your wins, if they've come stand up. The majority of his wins have come via on the ground. Like, how do you see this fight playing out, man?
Uh, you know, as I'm one of those fighters that I never really planned. I was taught early on, don't force the finish. Whatever happens, let it happen. Fight your fight, and you'll see it. The finish will come. I never planned like I need to knock this guy out. I need to submit him. I'm just gonna go. I train to my max capacity and do my best.
Yep.
And the outcome, it'll show itself. I'm actually a blue belt. I'm about to get my purple blue belt 4 stripes. So I know my ground stuff. It's just, I also have heavy hands. I started boxing, I started before everything amateur Muay Thai. So, I feel very well versed in any aspect, wherever it goes, I'm confident, so
Yeah.
Ultimately, I just see my hand being raised. Nothing against the guy, but I'm on a mission and,
Yep.
he can't stop me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. And you fought for Sparta Sports Entertainment for a few times now. What's been your experience working with those guys?
They've been awesome. Becca, the promoter, they've always shown love, and I want to do whatever I can to show love back. So
Yeah.
they've been great.
Yeah.
And especially as believers, that's what we're called to do is just show love on everyone.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Love people where they're at, dude. It's absolutely, man. Being in the National Guard, you understand the mindset side of things. Hey, I'd like to give a special shout out to the sponsor of our show, the Makeover Master. I can't say enough good things about them as they've done a ton to help grow our show and support our mission through their branding and brand strategy help. Honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without them. Here's the deal. If you run a business and you want more awareness, leads, and sales, everyone out there is telling you that their strategy, tool, or tactic is the magic pill that will give it to you fast and easy. But these quick fix solutions don't work for most because most businesses are either missing the foundations or they're out of order, and the foundations are what make all these online strategies work. Well, I have some awesome news for you. Because of our sponsorship with the Makeover Master, I'm able to give you their $997 foundations course for free. I've been through this course myself, and it is packed with so much value, and it's unlike any other course out there today. You can get through it in less than a few hours, and it will completely transform your perspective on what really matters and why it matters when it comes to having more success with your business online. If you go to the show notes of this episode, our sponsors page, or visit ericallenmedia.com/foundations today, you can get access to the course completely free. And I'm not really sure when this free offer is going to end, so go to ericallenmedia.com/foundations and get your free $997 gift from me to you. When you're backstage, you talked about like you're scared and you have kind of fear come over you. How do you get through that, man? When's that switch flip for you?
It's actually after that first hit. You know, like because in my heart of hearts, I'm a nice guy. I don't like fighting, as ironic as it sounds.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I try and nullify the fight. Like, hey, like if in a street altercation, I'm always trying to diffuse situations. So it's one of those things like Jekyll and Hyde, you know, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want, get hit. And then it's just like, all right. Then like the green guy starts coming out, and then it's like, all right, it's go time. And then afterwards, it's like, man, I can't believe I did that, and fighting is a crazy thing, man. But I actually have active duty experience prior to the National Guard. So I was 6.5-year vet before transitioning over. So
nice, man. Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you again for your service, man. I so appreciate it.
It's an honor. It's been one of the best experiences of my life.
It's amazing. What are you most excited about for 2021?
I guess just there's no limit, I feel like a lot of things have happened in recent times that is just propelling me, like it seems like the odds are against me, and I, having separated ties with my former gym, it was like a devastating blow. Mm-hmm. But, we just try, as a man of faith, we just trust God's vision, and his plans are better than ours, so what I thought was good, God's knowledge of good is better, so where he's taking me, I'm just trusting the process. I just signed with Top Shelf Management. Yeah. And, Chris Lopez is a great dude. He got me a fight with Fury back in Denver. And, I understand his vision. And again, it's about showing love. So I want to see what I could do. Like, I want to give everyone my all. And, I think people can love and respect that. And, there's no really limit to what we can do.
Oh, yeah. So good, dude. So good, man. I wanted to shift to some fun questions here. I've got these things called pod decks, essentially just random questions here. I'm going to pull it out here. We'll see how it rolls, dude.
All right.
This one says, what's the favorite thing that you've bought this year?
Favorite thing I've bought? I would say some Bluetooth headphones, man. I have been on the old school caveman, like wire attached, trying to run, and I just got like a headache, and I got some Bluetooth. Actually at like this gas station, like some skull candies. They're like $30, and I'm loving those things, man. Like it's just like, dude, I've been missing out my whole life. Right. Like, and now I feel like I'm living in luxury with Bluetooth headphones. Yeah.
Now you mentioned you got your collarbone injured earlier, but what's the funniest way that you've ever been injured?
It's actually in skateboarding. I broke my thumb popping my board trying to catch it. Like you just pop it up after you're done riding. Yeah. So I was like, let me try that. Popped it up and it cracked my thumb, and I was like, ended up breaking my thumb. I was like, I wasn't even trying to do anything. I was just trying to catch my board, like stop skating.
Yeah. My most serious injuries definitely came from skateboarding as well.
I tell people all the time, I was like, dude, fighting it looked brutal, but I've never been more beat up than skateboarding. The ground jacked me up more than anyone else.
For sure, dude.
So like, shins, dude, tailbone, like everything. I've gotten annihilated. Like that's why I stepped away from skateboarding. I was like, dude, I needed to go to something safer, and then I changed to fighting. So the irony.
I think the biggest injury that I had was I was trying to jump up 4 steps in front of my house one time, and I kept trying it over and over for hours and hours. I finally landed it, and I was like, yes. And as soon as I said yes, the board flew out from underneath me, and I hit it, landed right on my hip. Oh, so brutal, dude.
The irony of skateboarding, you like keep going to something that's just so like beating you up, and then when you get it, man, it's like there's nothing like it. It's like that feeling of overcoming something,
Yeah. Oh, totally, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a music guy, so I've asked the question, like, what's a favorite type of music for you, or do you have a favorite band that you like to listen to?
So I actually do listen to everything. I know a lot of people say that, but I genuinely do. I would have to say, hip hop is my go-to, just because like I had a dad that grew up in the 80s, like B-boy,
Nice.
showing me like old 80s hip hop, and like, just the like he was like a pioneer of hip hop. He was there like when that was all starting, like breakdancing in 80s and competing and stuff.
Yeah.
I would actually say, I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but one of my favorite bands is Linkin Park, man. I
Come
grew
on.
up on Linkin Park, bro. Like I was cranking every single, like cover to cover,
Yeah.
early on. Meteora, Hybrid Theory, all that stuff. Like that's just me. I grew up. I tried to have my hair spiked like what's his name that just recently passed away?
Chester.
Yeah, Chester. I used to spike my hair, like I was like, I want to dye my hair blonde. I used to get like temporary tattoos and put them on. So, but I used to love System of a Down.
Come on.
Like all the old stuff, like
Yeah.
It was just like, it was that skateboard culture too is huge in music. So I learned a ton, like the punk rock, everything. It was just a mashup of all kinds of genres from different people. So that's what I love about that skateboarding culture. It's just different people, different vibes, and everyone but it's all love. At the end of the day, you can be the guy wearing baggy pants, you can wear skin tight pants. It was just everyone's cool with everyone.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, man. I love that. Love the skateboard culture for sure, man. Hector, I wanted to give you an opportunity to give a shout out to coaches, teammates, sponsors, anything like that, man. The camera's all yours, bro.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for your time and having me on. Definitely shout out to Top Shelf for signing me. I got Extract Labs as a sponsor, so they've been showing love since amateur days. I give love to my new coach, Justin Mercado. I know things have been different, but he's had my back, and we're looking to shock the world. We're relatively unknown. We're going and doing our own thing and starting from the ground up. Shout out to my buddy Rodney Mandala. He just moved from Hawaii. He's got a pro boxing fight debut on June 16th or June 19th rather. So, and above all, I want to give a shout out to God for aligning this to happen. Like I never thought I'd ever be interviewed, and just seeing how God's worked in my life. So all praise to God for sure.
Man, Hector, such an honor to have you on my show. I always love conversations with other believers, man, and just seeing how you're changing the world, man, through what you got going on. And it's such an honor, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service, dude. I really appreciate it.
It's an honor, man. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so much for watching the show today. I appreciate it. If you could, please leave a rating and review on our Apple podcast. The link is down below. That helps us get our message out, get the show out, helps us get ranked out there on the Apple podcast. Also, leave a comment below, man. I'd love to know what part of this show made the most impact on you. I respond to every comment on there. And please share this video, whether you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Please share it out. We want to make sure that we impact as many people as we can with the guests that come on my show, and highlight those guests and what they've got going on, and they're changing the world. So thank you so much for the time. So appreciate it. Have an awesome day.